grant people privileges to the room. I believe we have Philip, Colin, and Derek. I'm going to make you guys presenters. Actually, everyone's going to be a presenter so that you guys can all share your screen. Or not your share screen, share your camera. Let's see, presenter mode. All right, so everybody should have presenter mode enabled now. If you would like, you can join us on cam. That'd be great.
Hello.
Hello.
And hello. There we go. I kept saying, can you hear me, Michael? Can you hear me? And then I realized, no, you can't until you enable it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there are a couple things I don't like about the Bevy interface. The biggest one being is that they took away the thing that made Atlassian community events, which is seeing everybody in person.
Right.
And now they have this. It used to be Zoom, which was better than being in person, but now they have this this white label Zoom thing. I think, at least that's what they've told us, is that it's a white label Zoom where everything has been washed with Atlassian branding. And now everyone, only presenters can share their screen or share their camera, which completely removes the whole community aspect.
Right. And so we cannot interact with the people that attend?
No, well, everybody is present and how it should work. Hi, Michael.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey. So basically, what I did last month or 2 months ago when we did this for the very first time. Is I was on Slack with Atlassian and told them, hey, I'm using this interface for the first time. Why can't we share a screen? And they said, oh, we made it so that only the presenters do. I'm like, well, that takes away. So basically, my hack, my workaround was, all right, you know what? Everyone's going to be presenter. And so, I mean, I can still kick people out if someone is being obnoxious,
they misbehave, yeah.
Which I mean, honestly, hasn't happened. And so, if it happens, then
we'll deal with it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it. But I have a hard time believing that it will. But I think everybody, as people come in, I've been giving people a presenter status. I did not get the T-shirt codes for this meeting ahead of time. So what I'll be doing is I'll be holding a drawing near the end, and we'll give 3 folks some swag courtesy of Atlassian, and you can order that from the Atlassian website. I usually do it ahead of time, but I have not been keeping on top of getting swag just because it's not part of my workflow right now. And so we're just going to give folks let's give folks maybe 4 or 5 minutes. To get from their previous meetings and things like that. I apologize for the messiness in my Zoom background. I don't know if this has the ability to do Zoom backgrounds or not.
So you think this is actually based on Zoom?
I believe so. That's what like I said. We've been told that. That's what we've been told. I don't think it is.
It has some differences in the user interface for sure.
Yeah, like at the very bottom. At the very bottom, it says "Powered by Bevy."
Yeah.
Which is the tool the tool that Atlassian's been using for I want to say like 6 years.
Mm-hmm. So maybe they just used that colloquially to say it's like Zoom.
Yes, maybe they did. But the way they messaged it is that we have integrated Zoom with Bevy. That's how they messaged it. And so I, as a developer, took that to mean, oh, okay, you took Zoom and you white labeled it for
reskinned it, yeah.
Yeah, reskinned it. Exactly. And it doesn't seem like that. In fact, this actually seems more like Google Google Meet. This feels very similar to Google Meet. I have done exactly 1 meeting with Google Meet, and it's very similar. What's that?
Is that the one you did with me?
Yes, actually.
Yeah,
No.
so.
Okay, so you're the second. You're the second.
Okay.
So
All
the
right.
first one was actually for a volunteer event that Capital One was doing back in something like August or something like that. I have never used Google Meet before then. And back then, they were doing unlimited, up to 100 people, unlimited time, because they were trying to compete with Zoom. And then they announced in September that they're getting rid of that. So now it's 45 minutes, just like Zoom, which is, I mean, that's sad, because they had the user base to really supersede like at least the home use, but my guess is that it was probably being abused. Stuff like that. That's often what happens, right? Is that stuff gets abused.
Somebody like that ruins it for all the rest of us.
Ruins it for everyone. Ruins it for everyone. And so, I think if you have just joined us, this is the Richmond chapter of the Atlassian user group. I still call it the Atlassian user group. I cannot call it community events. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, because yes, it's a community event, but it's not like, we as a group are not a community event. We as a group are a user group, right? And so I much prefer to call us an Atlassian user group. And I will probably get in trouble from Atlassian for saying that, but you know what? It's my chapter. I can do whatever I want.
That's right. So I don't see Colin in the meeting. I do see he's in the meeting for the attendees, but his video doesn't show. Even his avatar.
Yeah, I just enabled him. Yeah,
okay.
he seems to be coming in and out of the room, and so I've had to enable him twice now to have presenter mode. And so yeah, we're going to give folks maybe 4 more minutes. We'll start at 4:10, at least the 4:10 Eastern time. Michael Ellis, I believe you're joining us from Munich. Is that right?
Actually, I'm in New York City.
Oh, you're in Eastern time now.
Yeah, and Philip is in Munich.
Oh, Philip is in Munich. Okay.
So it's pretty dark outside, as you can see.
Oh, what time is it there right now? It's got to be what, 11?
10 p.m. 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay, not too bad. Yeah. It's been kind of cool. I've been talking with various folks at Capital One. Now that we've essentially gone pretty much working all the time, and there are people from all sorts of time zones, and Germany is a small minority. We have a good number of people in the UK, and a few people in Australia, and it's been really cool to get to know folks. All right, Colin, I don't know what's going on. I keep enabling you, and then you leave.
He's having some trouble. He's communicating with us over chat that
perfect.
He's having some trouble getting the system to respond properly. So I don't know if that means he'll be able to join or not. The other folks that are in the room, I see 3 Atlassian customers, I presume. Diana Carter, Hermes, and William. Are you guys able to speak at all? Can you take yourselves off mute and say something?
I think Bill.
This is Diana Carter. Yeah, I took myself off mute.
There we go.
Wandering around getting organized. I'm actually up in Northern Virginia, and I hadn't been able to attend Richmond events when they were driving because it was I just couldn't get there. But now,
it's okay.
Now they're, now I can attend.
Now we're
Awesome.
That's actually where I started going to AUGs, is in Northern Virginia. Are you familiar with the AUG that's in Northern Virginia?
Yeah, I used to attend it regularly.
Okay. We may have crossed paths then if it was 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, big group. Huge.
Yeah. I still keep in touch with Billy and oh God, what's her name? Jen. No, not Jen. I want to say Jen. Not Jen. Now you got me wondering.
She's
I'm
putting
on
her dishes away.
No, go for it. Hey, working from home has really.
My computer.
Yeah.
I want to get a bite to eat.
It's perfectly fine. Diana, what industry are you in?
Well, I'm an old telecom person that got rehabbed into technical writing and editing about 6, 7 years ago. And I did that for 5 years, at which time I was Confluence administrator. I have not done it in about a year, and I'm thinking of getting back into it as an independent. And plus, I want to build my own website, so I thought this would be really handy.
Well, this is a handy topic for you then, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a hosted instance now, but we had a server-based when I was employed.
Yeah, it's funny. It's really interesting to hear the stories of people going from cloud to server and then server to cloud. Yeah. And everyone seems to have a different reason for making that decision.
Everyone has a horror story. You just don't know which
everyone has a
side they're
story for
on.
one or the other. You know, it's really funny because people will leave one for the other for the exact same reason. And
Yes.
I'm personally of the opinion that server is the way to go. Now I know that I'm in the minority in that stance. But like, if I could afford server on my own, I would probably do it. But I don't. I'll be honest. Even though Jira is free now, I don't really have a good use case to use Jira outside of like Epic and sprint planning. And even then, like in my personal life, I don't sprint plan. And so Trello is enough for me to do a lot of the basic stuff that I need to do. But besides that, I'm like, yeah, Jira is just too much overhead. Like I barely even use it for our Atlassian stuff. Now I'm sure if I had other people, like if I had teammates that was helping me with the Atlassian user group, that would probably be a different story. But for the most part, like using Jira for myself or by myself, I'm like, this is just so much overhead. It's not worth it. I'm better off using like a notepad or something like that. But for the most part, yeah. All right. Well, it's 12 minutes after, and we've got. I think we have enough people here to go ahead and get started. Like I said, my name is Michael. So I'm not going to show slides because they're the exact same slides that everyone's seen for the last 2 months. Nothing has changed. We're still meeting virtually because of, let's call it snow. Even winter is coming. So we don't have a plan to go back and meet in person, at least not yet. And so it'll probably be like this for the conceivable future, which is it kind of sucks because
I think this is the reason we got to meet, is that because you're doing your meetings remotely, it didn't matter that I'm in New York and Derek's in Philadelphia and Colin's in St. Louis and Philip is in Munich. We could all join together in the Richmond, Virginia users group.
Yeah, I mean, and we could have still had you. We could have still hosted you. But one of the things that I've noticed, I mean, we don't need to go into the detail now, but like one of the things that I've noticed, like when I was a part of the Northern Virginia group before I moved down to Richmond, is that when we did have remote speakers, it was often difficult for the people in the room to ask questions. Because the camera was, of course, we're using like a laptop camera.
Yep, because we don't have
people could raise their hands, but without like an external mic, you could not hear the question. And so anyway, this works a lot better for this format, which is great. The only thing that sucks is like the food. And so, and Atlassian drew the line in the sand. They said, we cannot order food for people.
Well, Diana's got something to eat, so maybe she could share with us.
Yeah.
Well, it's yogurt. Right now it's yogurt and walnuts. So I'm not sure how much that's going to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
Yogurt sounds amazing.
But I'll fax it if you want me to.
That's okay. Thank you. And William just joined us too. Are you able to take yourself off mute?
Yeah, works.
Trying to. Let's see if it works.
There we go. We can hear you. We can't see you yet, but we can hear you.
Yeah, well, I was using a new PC and it's not set up exactly right, so I'm trying to figure it out.
What industry are you in, William?
Specialty insurance.
Specialty insurance, okay.
Yes.
And do you go by William or Will or Bill?
Bill.
Bill, okay. And specialty insurance like what? Like
Travel insurance.
travel insurance?
Yeah, so they were a hot customer right at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh my God. With all the canceled trips?
Not only canceled trips, everything's canceled. No flights, no cruises.
Right.
So people aren't buying insurance.
True.
Oh, of course. But you also should have had claims then too, right? As a result.
We did have claims, but most of the providers either gave credit or refunded the monies that people put.
Right. Oh,
But
so you didn't
driver-
get that. So then there was no impact on the business that side.
There still was, because there's some providers who did not. There were
Yeah.
some providers who just like closed up shop, and if we covered them for bankruptcy or something, like if they were one of our preferred providers, then we covered it for bankruptcy or whatnot. We did have to pay out some claims. But the biggest hit was that nobody was buying insurance because nobody was going anywhere.
Right. Well, I'm going to turn it over. We've got everybody here. Hermes hasn't been able to come off mute, so I'm going to just continue on and introduce Philip. So we are teamed up today with two companies, one from the United States and one from Germany. CPI Solutions is me, I'm the president, and my colleagues Derek and Colin, who are on screen with us. And we have a business relationship with Philip and his company in Germany called SALT Business Consulting out of Munich and Leipzig. So we've been talking a lot, we've been collaborating a lot in Atlassian products, and so we asked Philip if he would be willing to come and offer this presentation to our group here. So I'm going to turn it over to Philip and let him start.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do that.
Excellent.
So let me rearrange my screen here. There we go. And actually try the screen share.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to tell folks that we're going to be recording this meetup.
Okay.
And so, because Michael has asked me to, and I forgot to do it last one. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm being completely honest. And so I'm pressing the record button. It says recording this session. I'm going to hit record. Hopefully it works. It says recording. All right.
It says recording, so it should be working.
Philip, take it
Awesome.
away. I'm going to go ahead go on mute and take it away.
Okay, so let me try if my screen share works here. There we go.
Yeah, that's working great. Thank you.
Okay, it says I'm sharing my screen, that's fine. Cool, so what I want to do today is I want to show you some of our best practices and a possibly very weird use case for Confluence to actually use Confluence to run a website. And I hope that's interesting for you and gives you an idea how to use Confluence outside of your company or with your clients even or with your customers. And we had some fun use cases in the last year implementing that, and that's what I thought makes sense to just show you guys. So what do I have on the agenda? So first of all, I will shed some light on the idea why to make websites based on Confluence content. Then show you the editing process real quick, how it looks like to edit a Confluence page and make it a website. And then talk about help centers, because that's a great use case to use Confluence documentations as a website content. And then show you the plugin we are using. It's from a company in Stuttgart near Munich here. And the integration with Jira Service Desk, which is also great when you offer service to your customers, you can reuse the website content basically. And in the end, I have a small goodie for everybody here. We have some free plugin codes you can try out, which is also related to nice content building for Confluence pages. So you can even try it out in your systems. Cool. So let me start with a few questions here. So what do you think if you if you think about your Confluence instance, you probably all have a lot of Confluence pages. What do you think? How many people are editing your Confluence pages every day, like compared to the people who are editing your company website, for example?
A lot more are doing the Confluence page than the website, because the website is pretty static. It's
absolutely
yeah.
That's the same experience we had with our customers. Everybody said we are basically editing the Confluence pages every day and add content there, and on the website it's a team of 2 people for the whole company on doing it. So we really thought, why couldn't we have a website which changes as fast as a Confluence? And that was our first idea, to use Confluence as a CMS system for a website, actually. And then when you think about how many people read your Confluence every day compared to how many people read your website every day, it's probably the other way around, right? The Confluence is probably not read by as many people as your public website. So wouldn't it be great to have as many editors as in Confluence and as many people reading it as on your website? And that was the idea of merging both together. So how did we do that? So this is a Confluence page, in our case a server instance. We in Germany have a lot of server instances still, because people are still somehow like to own their content on their own servers. I don't know why it's so different, but it's very slow adoption of cloud. So most of our customers have a standard server Confluence like this one. Bear with me with the German content. It's only the first 2 slides, but I wanted to show the easiest use case, which is unfortunately in German. I think, Hermes, it will be good for you, as you are close to my location here. So we have a standard Confluence page here. And what we did here is we installed a little plugin called Scroll Viewport, which is this little button up here. And when you click this button or visit a different URL of your Confluence, it looks actually like this. So this is the same page we just saw. You see here the headline, which we had here, and you see the content which we have here in a website format. And here you can see there's really all the Confluence functionality and buttons and edit buttons and stuff are hidden from the user, and it really looks like a standard website you can find on Google. And when we look back at this here, we have the menu on the left side, the page tree, and we have the content here. And when you change it into a website, we have the menu here nicely with some icons to open and close it, and we have the content here. So let me quickly jump to a demo how this actually works, because it's much nicer to see the real system instead of just me showing slides. So can everybody see the website here? Yes.
Yes, it seems. If it's possible to make it slightly bigger, yes.
Perfect. Okay, there we go.
That's great. Thank you.
So this is now the public view of the Confluence, and here you see in the URL we have here the system with a really nice URL, which is a website URL, and you can click around here and scroll through the content, and it looks all like a website. And when you are logged into Confluence, actually, you get this little blue bar on the left side here, the viewport control. And here you can basically jump back into Confluence and edit the page in Confluence as you know. And here you find all your Confluence goodness you all know about. Like you have an info thing here, you have a layout sections here, you have buttons here, and that's all standard Confluence. And when you update something here, it will show on the website, and you can just jump over here and scroll viewport. When you now look at the URL up here, it says /pages/view page ID 6851790. And if you go to the website, it really has a nice URL which gives you the name of the website and everything in the URL, and it's really Google friendly and basically a real website. And that's basically the basic system already of this tool. It just gives you a different view on your Confluence, and you can publish it as a website. So when you're not logged into Confluence, you will be automatically redirected to the website view. And if you are logged into Confluence, you see this button on the side to basically jump into the Confluence view and have all the functionality of Confluence on your fingertips. So that's the first demo. So let me jump
Hey,
back.
Philip.
Yeah.
If I'm logged into Confluence, but it's not my website that I'm looking at, do I still see the little blue port?
No. You have to be logged into this instance of Confluence.
Into this instance. Okay,
to see
that's
it. Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So any questions so far?
Yeah. Does it put any of the Google tags in there for measuring views and abandonment and any of that?
Absolutely, that's what you actually can do with this thing too. It supports Google Analytics if you want. It supports SEO functionality, so you can do all the goodness on top of a Confluence page. And how this works basically is that you have in the edit mode, you have a couple of new macros here, which are all start with scroll, and you can basically have scroll metadata in here, and there you can add more information for the website which you need, and you also have a macro for the Google code to enter here, and then you can track the page actually. We are also using when we talk about page tracking, we are also using a little tool called View Tracker. It's a plugin from a company from Switzerland, from Zurich, and this gives you a little view tracker per Confluence page, even with data privacy mode. So you don't see who it was, you'd only see the number of people it was, and this is what we use for the view tracking internally. But Google Analytics is also supported for the website view, obviously.
Thank you.
Cool. So let me jump back to the presentation. So this was a very basic example of just putting content like normal text on a website and some info boxes and stuff like that. But how it could look like is, for example, like this. This is a really nice a website with a lot of pictures and stuff. And even this website is done in Scroll Viewport. So if you really want to have a consulting website or something as a company, even that is working with Scroll Viewport. And this is probably the best example, the website from K15T, really good use case to look at how it could look even as a website with a lot of pictures and stuff. So the second use case I wanted to show you is help centers with Scroll Viewport, because usually what content is in Confluence, it's usually the project documentation or the documentation for your product, or it's usually already a knowledge base or something like that which has content for users available. So I brought us some examples here to show you how this could look, so that you get a variety of ideas how you could use this actually. And for example, when we open this one here, you see a complete different use case. It's basically, again, a Confluence in the back end, but you have a search bar here, a Confluence search, where you can search articles in this area. And if you click the article, you can see the similar design here with pictures and even small GIF images here, and you can see all the areas here. How this actually is done, it's it's one space called space key doc, and it's the other spaces help desk, calendar serve, and cal cloud, which basically generate the structure of the page here. So basically, when you have one space, which is the start page here, and then a couple of spaces below that, you basically get a navigation for free without any coding required. It just builds a navigation for you from the space image and the space name and the space description, and builds you a menu like this out of the box. And then you can just navigate down here, select a topic, and it's all Confluence pages in the back end and all a nice website in the front end. And it's really, really easy to do. It's just nearly out of the box. Just click it and it works. So that's a really good example also. So let me show you one more. This is a nice one with pictures here. Again, looks similar, but different company. So this is our friends from K15T from Stuttgart, and they used it to do their documentation, and you can even find the scroll viewport documentation inside Confluence in a scroll viewport. So it's kind of self-circling. And there you can find all the things which we just talked about, how to assign meta tags, or how to do Google stuff, and how to do Twitter tags and stuff like that in your content. So it's really nice how they structured that one. Cool. Okay, so that's some examples, and now let's go back to the presentation real quick. So what I have here is when you get the slides later, you can look how it's built here if you want to try it yourself. So basically, here it's numbered. It's it's the root space here, the root space title, and then it's the other spaces down here in different spaces generate the navigation, so you can follow the example here and try it out yourself. So what is another example which we did last year? So last year there was a company reaching out to us, Estos. They are doing telephone systems in Germany actually, and they were reaching out to us that they want to have a support website for their customers. So we started to investigate how to do that. We built them a Confluence base, and obviously that was not customer facing friendly. So we extended a little bit this scroll viewport plugin and made it look like this. So you see the viewport control on the left side again, the blue button when you're logged in, and you see the website view being nice and having some more features like announcements here and the products down here and release notes on the bottom. What did we do there? We just used different Confluence plugins, which are different Confluence macros, which are there out of the box. For example, here we used the recently update macro and said show every page which was recently updated with the label now how, and basically made this configuration in Confluence here. And what happened in viewport then? It basically looks like this in viewport, so the nice tab navigation on top here, and the last updated pages are really merged into the design in scroll viewport here, and make a nice website backed by Confluence, and all the changes in the last 8 hours, 12 hours, yesterday are all live for the customer on the website instantly.
I think it's really cool, Philip, that it gives like a fresh version of the website all the time.
Yeah, and also a nice looking version, because when you give this to a customer, they will probably just think, oh, what is all these 8 hours stuff, and what is this view change here? It's too complex to find the content from an end user perspective. Cool. So let me show you this one real quick. So here we go. Here we have the website, and when you jump into the documentation here. Here you see the recent content down here, and then you have even stuff like a support request here, which directs you to Jira directly, and gives you the chance to open a support request in Jira. And also here you can see it's Jira Service Desk, so it's also themed in the same way, so that it looks like out of one tool, and you don't see the change between the tools. So what is a really nice advantage when you have this content here in a Confluence themed web page is that you also can use it inside of Jira as a knowledge base. So when I, for example, go here and search for ECSTA here in my Jira instance, then I will probably find this content here in my service desk. So let me show this here on this one. This is the DAV system again from before, and here in the content I can now search for the page. Here I have a page how to use a gallery to present your pictures, and when I search this here, it will basically give me the page here in Jira Service Desk and offer me the content from my website in Jira as a problem solution, which might be used to solve the problem before opening a ticket, for example. So even this is possible to be integrated to really have content in here in Jira out of your website and use it as a knowledge base to avoid tickets. And even if a user creates a ticket and starts typing here, my gallery is not working, it again shows up here and tries to convince him to not open a ticket, not open a Jira issue, and use the content in the wiki, which the user, which could help the user to avoid opening the ticket. So that's basically the second use case of reusing your website again as content in Jira. So when you do a website with Confluence, you already saw with the icons here and the stuff that the hardest part on a website is that it has to have a lot of pictures, obviously, and Confluence is not very good with pictures. Who tried to upload a team event picture gallery into Confluence before? I guess it was a hassle, and the pictures were very large and didn't load very, very fine. I think that's a gap which Confluence has. And there we come to the topic of the free plugin I brought for you guys. We basically did something to make this nicer. We developed ourselves during the last 2 years. We developed a plugin, Advanced Image Gallery for Confluence, which is basically a way of adding a macro to a Confluence page, and you can then select pictures which show as an image gallery on the page. And this is the demo we just looked at. You basically just upload the pictures into the macro, and then you get a nice image gallery with the pictures shown, and you can even click them to enlarge them and make them nice looking in Confluence. And this works for Confluence and also for Scroll Viewport. So you can also try it on your instance when you have no website system set up. And in a Scroll Viewport, it looks like this then, also working with the nice website integration here. So here we go. Here's the advanced image gallery on the Atlassian Marketplace. So feel free to use the promo code or reach out to me or Mike to get the presentation and just click the link here. You can get a free license here to try it out for 1 year, and I think even extend it afterwards. So we always give this away on user groups because if you are making it to a user group, you're as professional as giving us nice reviews and help us to improve it and give good feedback. So we always gift it to people in the user group here. So feel free to try it out.
Hey, can you drop that link
sorry?
in the chat? Can you drop the link in the chat?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna. If people put their email address in here, I'll send out the presentation all together, and they'll have the link.
Perfect. Yeah, actually, if you could post the presentation, I mean, you're more than welcome to collect the email addresses, but if you could also post it on our community, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
send you the
I can do that. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So what?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So Diana has a question in the chat room.
Oh yeah.
In the chat section.
Let me jump to the chat here. Here we go. Yes, Diana, it's available on hosted and on server and on cloud. And if you want to I think we talked about it before that you had server before and now using cloud. We even might have something for you which could interest you. We have a link on our website where you can just generate a server system for yourself. It's actually hosted in AWS then again, but you have all the server functionality to try out and use if you have any plugins which not yet are supported in server. So we can talk about this later probably, if that helps you. But it's also available for
the cloud.
Yeah, it's also available for the cloud, obviously. Cool. And
is there a limit on the server version?
So you can basically then you have the 10 user version. I think it's 10 user is $10 a year. And if you then buy a bigger license, it's normally the same price as on the cloud. I think from the license standpoint, it makes no difference because you need to pay the couple of dollars for the hosting plus the license, and it's normally the same price as when you buy cloud in the end.
No, I understand that, but I was questioning what version of server does it support? 8.6 to backwards till 7 or before 7 or?
Oh yeah, it's all the supported Atlassian versions back actually. So
it's backwards compatible. Okay.
Backwards compatible. You can start from the last supported version from Atlassian. I think it's 6.13 at the moment. Everything else is already out of support. So yeah, and that's a managed server hosting system actually. But we can go into detail on that afterwards if you're interested. When you saw this image gallery supports the viewport actually and also Confluence native, and also viewport supports all the other nice plugins you all are familiar with, like Glyphy diagrams. So if you want to use Confluence to make a Visio in Confluence directly, you can basically also publish this on your website. And imagine the power of having a documentation of your software or something always updated in Confluence, which shows directly on the website as a documentation for your users or something. That's really a cool use case to have Confluence as a CMS system with proper diagramming software installed. So that's really nice. And if you go even further and have a software development project where you have a REST API documentation, even this is supported in Viewport. So you can even use a Swagger documentation and put that into your website, a dynamic REST API testing tool, even on your website with Confluence as a backend. So here's the plugin from the K15T guys from Stuttgart, our friends. To check it out, just install it on your cloud or server instance and try it out. It's pretty cheap for the users, and it's really fun to play around with websites with Confluence. Cool. So again, the free license here, and then I think we are open for questions.
I don't know if you saw Diane's other question about the permissioning. Unfortunately, Diane, I did cover permissions in our last meeting. I don't know if you happened to be there or not.
Let's think about it. Absolutely. How does it work with the website thing? Yes. So when you want to have a public website, absolutely, Diane, when you want to have a public website, you basically assign it anonymous permissions. If you want to have an internal website, if you say my department wants to show our content as a website internal to the intranet users, for example, then you can use the full-fledged Confluence permissions. So if you get a group out of your Active Directory, which gives you permission to the space, it also works for the viewport. So the permissions are completely compatible with Confluence permissions on this website topic, or anonymous for the public area. Any more questions?
Other questions for any? Very interesting. So I found the whole thing very interesting, Philip. Thank you for presenting that for us.
Let me ask you a question. Let me go back on video. I wanted you guys to have the star. So I took myself off of video. One of the things that I have been exploring in my lockdown for various lockdown projects is actually Jekyll and static website building, or quote static website building through Jekyll and GitHub pages and things like that.
Yeah.
If you are strictly doing like static websiting, it seems like Confluence might be too much overhead because I mean you got to stand up. If you're doing it, if you're hosting it yourself, you got to stand it up. Yeah. And I think if you're on free Confluence, like with the under 10 users in the cloud, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe you cannot actually make it public.
Oh yeah, I think you can. I think you can.
Oh, you can. Okay. Okay.
Actually, you can, and when you look at the user group page of our Munich user group, this is actually a page that I didn't use. This is actually a free Confluence which is made public to the world with a 10 user license in the back. Yeah, so it works.
Oh, very nice. Okay,
Yep.
well that might be something I need to look into.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a good jumping off point, especially if you want something simple, because I would imagine that, like, so the trade-off here, at least from my perspective, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. If you're not familiar with Jekyll or Ruby on Rails and things like that, setting that up can be a bit daunting. Where I mean, you do have a little bit of more flexibility in terms of like theming and things like that with Jekyll. Versus Confluence, you're pretty much stuck with the Confluence. It's more or less, you kind of have to work within their space. But there's less coding, there's less development that you really got to think about. What are your thoughts on those two things?
Absolutely.
That may not be familiar with
I just wanted to show you our website actually, because our website is done in something similar. It's done in Hugo and something like also like Jekyll. It's just Hugo, or how it is called. And what we figured out is that it is very fast and very, very awesome to use for me as a specialist and as a developer, and I really loved it. But then I tried to get working students to figure out how to put content in there and how to make new websites. And when I did this, it after that it looked like this. There was a white bar in here. It didn't work. it was jumping. The stuff didn't show up. The form was full page width. And then we also decided, okay, the hurdle to edit content on a website should be as small as possible. And now we also put Confluence in the back of our website, and now we are actually able to put out content and even get the working students to just make nice pictures in there and fiddle around with it. And my perspective is the tool can be as expensive as you want. It doesn't matter, as long as people can actually change the website or change the content in a tool. And that's the power of Confluence, I think. Everybody can hit edit, change a text and save it again and fix a typo. And that is the that is much more important from my perspective than having a nice Jekyll website. But every use case has its place, obviously, right? If you have only 2 people working on it and they are developers, then Jekyll is really nice and fast and an awesome tool. But if you have a community where everybody should edit and collaborate, Confluence is probably the better tool.
I think it's particularly true if most websites that I've seen have trouble with keeping content fresh.
Yeah.
Always having a new supply of content is really and the barrier to entry is there's almost always a bottleneck in the organization, and every bit of content has to be pushed through that bottleneck. It's usually 1 or 2 people, like Philip said. And because of that, the website is never as fresh as everyone wants it to be. And you don't get as much traffic to your website because it's not fresh. Your search results aren't as good because it's not as fresh. All of that matters a lot. So anything you can do to help your team send more content to the website faster, the better off you are.
Yeah.
Instead of having some particularly flashy capability on the website that looks great to the developers that love neat tools, but it doesn't change anything about the outcome you're trying to get from your website.
And by the way, flashy functionality, you have to think a little bit further with Confluence also. When you think like about a Confluence page here, and you have it on your website, and I think you guys probably are aware that you can export Confluence pages as nice PDFs or Word documents. Mm-hmm. And if you have like a Word exporter installed on your Confluence, and you put this on the website to have a Word button here, you can even use the Word export and make a nice Word template, which then exports your website for the CEO to put on his desk in a Word document with a nice
table of contents
and nice headings and stuff to basically export the website as a nice PDF document. And this is something which is really hard to do on a website, and it's out of the box for Confluence, for example.
Mm-hmm. So you can distribute the content even that way. Absolutely. The website content could be distributed as a PDF.
Yeah, if that's needed, or if it is a documentation, it makes sense probably. So our customers even generate contracts out of this, and just put a button there. They have a website which is set in the permissions to one company only, and they have all their contracts in here, and they can export them always in the newest version, updated GDPR stuff or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
Cool.
Any other questions from the group? Excellent.
Michael,
sounds like you answered them all.
What time is it? Is it on your side? Is it also?
It is.
It's 8 minutes to 8 minutes before 5. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. I scheduled this for 2 hours. I wasn't sure how long things were going to go. Mm-hmm. We can go ahead and start wrapping up here. We need to take a quick screenshot of everybody on camera, as long as you feel like you can. It's that way I get the credit for everybody coming here. For those of you,
we don't see Diana anymore.
Yeah, I think Diane Carter, she must have dropped and then rejoined, maybe? No, presenter mode is still on for her. So here's what we'll do. I'll need to take a screenshot of everybody on our Bevy platform here. I submit that as part of our thing. Nice. Raise your hand if you are not a Atlassian partner. You are not. I know William is not. Hermes?
Is not. Michael, you need to raise your hands. Colin, you too, Derek.
That you are not. You guys are not Atlassian partners?
No, we're working with Philip, so he's the partner that we work with.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay,
yeah.
So let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Colin, you're not. Hermes
and Derek.
Okay, that's actually a lot more than I suspected. What I'm going to do when I take my screenshot, I will do a drawing. Philip will be the only person that won't be able to get a T-shirt. That won't be eligible. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
And then I'll select 3 people that are not me and not Philip. And
Hey,
I'll
our
send you
odds
guys.
are going up here, you guys.
Yeah. So I'm hoping by tomorrow you guys will have a code that you guys can enter into the Atlassian site, get yourself a T-shirt or whatever swag is of whatever value that they have. They have a pretty good selection of swag, and their T-shirts are actually very good quality.
I have the very old one where it still says
solution partner. Okay. All right.
I didn't get the new ones.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot. All right, everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that did it. Let me check. Yay! All right, that did it. All right, so what I'll do, like I said, is I'll do a drawing as soon as we get off the phone here, or get off our meeting here. And actually, let me do it now because I know I don't see the email addresses on the Bevy website, unfortunately. So let me do a drawing for the first 3 people. So how many people do we have? We have 8 attendees minus 2 is 6. So we're gonna draw 6. Oops, that's not what I want. Where's the sequence generator? There it is. 6 in one column. All right. So it's going to be 1, 2.
There's Diana.
Hey, Diane.
Hi, I had to switch back to my iPhone to actually be able to talk.
Oh, no.
Were you able to hear us, though?
So I can't well, my camera is funny. There it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoops.
All right, so Hermes.
But it's showing the room, not me.
Yeah.
All right, Hermes, you got 1. Michael, you got 1.
Yes.
And then Diane, you got 1. So if you guys wouldn't mind dropping your email address in the chat, I will make sure that you guys get the T-shirts at the Atlassian swag store. I think it's $25 or something along those lines, and includes shipping. So, like I said, they're very good quality shirts. The other question that I wanted to ask, we're nearing the end of the year, and we've moved to an every other month format. Just by a show of thumbs up or thumbs down, or verbally if you're not on video. How do you guys feel about doing a December meetup? It'll be the first. Actually, let me double check. It'll be the second week of December, so that'll be December 10th. Yes, no, yes, all right.
Put your hand up.
Yes, for me.
All right. All right, so it sounds like we can do a December meetup. Now, the folks that just presented today, they said they are willing to do another one next for the next meeting. I like to switch things up if we can. Maybe we can do something holiday themed, something along those lines. I think if you have a topic that you'd like to present, that'd be great. And we can certainly put you guys in.
I think we had figured out a topic we thought we could do in December, didn't we, Philip?
Yeah, I think the events, running an event.
Oh yeah, event management. Yeah.
All right, so hold on a second. Diane, Hermes, and then there was one. Who was the third person?
Me.
Michael. Yes, which I already have your email address. So
yeah.
Michael,
I'm not seeing chat. Are other people seeing chat on here?
Yeah, it's over to the right.
Yeah, I'm in the chat, but all I see is one direct message between me and Philip, and
Yeah,
that's
then you
it.
have to change to general up there.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
To
thank
general.
you. Aren't you glad you depend on me for your support? Technology is not really my thing, I guess. Now I see it.
Oh, I just, Colin, I didn't know that we had a direct message and general thing. So I just got your message asking for admin access. I am really sorry. But you were able to get on. All right. Carter, I'm sorry, not Carter, Diane, Hermes, and Michael, you guys will be getting your swag coupon sometime, hopefully, like I said, in the business tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for joining. We'll try to have another AUG in December. Is every other month thing working for you guys? It's working for me. It actually makes things a lot easier for me. But is it working for you?
Yeah, every other month is good.
And time works out 4 o'clock in the afternoon, at least Eastern time.
Yeah,
Philip, you want to join us again? You want to join us again at 10 next
Sure,
in
no
December?
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining.
Excellent.
Michael, I don't know what happens with these recordings. I have never done it before. I'm
you
assuming
and I
I will
can
get
be
an
in touch
email.
again tomorrow or the next day after you get it. You'll probably get a link for the recording, right?
Yeah.
And
And
then we
then
can
what
just
I'll do
talk.
is I'll send you the recording and I'll upload it to YouTube.
Perfect.
So,
Cool.
all right.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks,
great.
guys. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
everybody. Thank you, Philip.
All right.
Bye.
Yes, thank you
Bye-bye.
very much. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Bye,
See
everybody.
you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.